Greetings and thank you for joining the weekly meditation of Calgary Mindfulness, where every Sunday morning we meditate for 15 minutes on a different topic, often suggested by our practicing community. If you would like to join these meditations live, or if you would like to attend in-person meditations around the Calgary area during the summer months, please email CalgaryMindfulness@gmail.com. I hope you enjoy this practice and wishing you a wonderful week. Good morning, everyone. How wonderful to meet with you again today. We're continuing our preparations for Christmas and your holiday season with meditations on generosity. And today's meditation also includes loving kindness for others. Last week we talked about loving kindness for self. So just to recap some of the things we talked about last week, while I do some admin work here to let in people. Hang on just a moment. Okay. We talked about generosity as a pausing to connect with our heart. Generosity is innate for humans because of the mirror neurons, because of our parasympathetic nervous system, but it also is something that has to be cultivated as we grow up. So the mirror neurons and the genetic wiring make us happy when we give, right? That is our wiring. However, we cultivate generosity as well. And if we don't, we can enter a state of developmental arrest where we grasp to control others and we grasp for things outside ourselves. So these activities block our heart, and we want to stop and learn to listen to the heart. We want to pay attention to an agenda that we have with other people, moving away from needing to control them to be how we want to be in order for us to feel happy. Last week we talked about grasping for stuff, grasping for control, grasping for time, grasping onto busyness, and this grasping is the root of our separation from our hearts, from ourselves, from our higher self, from our inner wisdom, from Holy Spirit, from God, and is also the source of separation from one another, fostering the illusion that we are not all united, all one human body. How do we work to free our hearts so we can cultivate the habit of generosity? Well, last week we worked with how we identify to grasp, and where we're grasping is where we feel suffering, where we feel a lack of ease, where we feel upset. So our emotional guidance system is really important. And our next step was to offer ourselves kindness and to forgive sort of whatever addiction we have to grasping outside of ourselves. By sensing the pain underneath. Usually it's a fear of survival, a fear of loss of control, a fear of not being welcome. Hi, Balthazar. Shh. My little guy wants out, but it's still too dark here. Our third step was to deepen this reflection with kindness and forgiveness to ourselves, a kind of spiritual reparenting process. So beginning to offer ourselves what we are grasping for. And so there's quite a bit of analysis involved here, which we don't necessarily have to do in our meditation practice. That would be great for journaling after. But during the meditation, we can become aware of some of the suffering we feel. Right, I believe I have let everyone in. This may be a noisy day with my little guy here. Hey, can you come hang out? Come hang out. Come on. All aboard, buddy. I can't mute my baby. And let's begin by getting into our mindful body. Just taking several deep breaths as we reconnect with our senses to bring us back into the present moment, to take us out of worrying about the past, worrying about the future. In last week's practice, we reviewed our own process for where we block generosity. And today we will meditate and visualize a relationship. And just taking several deep breaths. Noticing the sounds within the body and the sounds within our practice room. Stretching out our awareness to hear sounds further and further. Noticing the rise and fall of the torso as we continue to breathe. And let's pull up one of the topics we discussed last week. We're going to invite ourselves to become aware of where we grasp outside of ourselves for happiness. Whether it's control over something, money, body image, people, emotions, anything that we really feel strongly that is not right and we need to fix. And just call that to mind. Taking several deep breaths, sitting with these sensations. Just reminding ourselves that in sitting with these feelings of unease, we develop the tolerance for pushing through them, for bringing them to light, and for offering them up for healing so that they don't interfere with our giving of ourselves and to others' highest and best ever again. And we may need to repeat this process a zillion times. Welcome to the human journey. Just forgiving ourselves for not getting there, for being on the journey. That's what it's all about, is the journey. Sensing the pain underneath whatever we're grasping for, and offering this unconditional love to ourselves. Whether we feel failure or unworthy in any infinite number of ways that humans have to do this to ourselves. Where we judge that we have failed, that we are not good enough. And just noticing the relief that comes with bringing this to mind and allowing it to pass. Yes, we will survive if we sit with our painful thoughts and emotions and breathe through them. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way, especially if we're deep in grief, depression, anxiety, loss. We'll do anything to avoid feeling those feelings because they feel bad. So the breath teaches us that we can survive. It's awesome. One at a time, again and again. Rinse and repeat. And for the second part of our practice, and this is where we didn't move into last week. We spent our entire practice dealing with the self. Today, let's sense a relationship that we'd like to nourish. Now, observe, first of all, our agenda in the relationship. What's the behavior or the end result in another person that I'd like to change? Where's the pressure point in this relationship? I have a couple personal and professional ones coming to mind that are pretty acute right now. And so the first step is to observe, they're doing this to me. not the other way around. Why do I have to fix anything here with love and kindness? And observing those feelings allows us to acknowledge that there is separation and that we are contributing to the separation by holding ourselves away from responsibility. Let's continue to offer a gesture of care to that place in the relationship that has created suffering. What is it we want from the other person so we can feel better? Whether it's respect, trust, openness, responsible decision-making, clarity. What are the things we need to fix in this other person in order for us to chill? And the closer the relationship is, the harder it is to let go. The more responsibility we feel for the behavior of another, the harder it is to let go. And that is particularly tough with parents and children. How can I still be happy even though people around me, very close to me, may not be making clear or nurturing life choices? How do I keep it together through that? How do I nurture the loving relationship with my loved one's highest self? And so there is the crux of generosity, is offering heart to heart with our loved one's highest self and not fixating on the current situation. Here is our gesture of care. Let's sit with this for a moment, heart to heart with our loved one. And just acknowledging that our loved one doesn't have to make the choices we approve of to love us and to be loved by us. What a remarkable act of generosity the letting go is. What a remarkable act of care for ourselves and our loved one to let go this way. Let's sit with an image of our loved one, offering our loved one our presence and our unconditional love. Offering this from our inner wisdom that sees our loved one in clarity, that sees our loved one with the eyes of God, as needing compassion, needing love, needing forgiveness, sees their potential through the mistakes, through the things we disagree with. And hand on heart, let's take several deep breaths. Offering our loved one our full, heartful presence and our unconditional love. And we say to our loved one, may you be healthy. May you be and become happy. May you develop clarity and know clarity for yourself. May you listen to your heart and follow your wisdom. May you know, not just in the mind, but in the body, that you are loved and worthy. May you feel free to make choices that align with your value, your highest and best. And we'll just sit with this for a moment longer, holding our loved ones in our minds, in our hearts, in this tremendous act of generosity. Demands. Hello, Balthazar. And as we can see, as we wrap up today's practice, if we want to feel more free and more giving, it is a deliberate practice. And our mindfulness generosity practice of extending loving kindness to others is a pivotal and crucial turning point for us. We can also lay an intention. So let's try that this week. Let's intend to have, let's say, 2 unscheduled acts of generosity today, where, we let someone in traffic, or in the grocery line if someone has a couple items and they need to go first, or other little things. We don't have to fight for our respect all day long. We just know that we are respected and worthy, and don't take the little things personally. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I look forward to meeting with you next week, and of course to hearing from you about how this practice went for you and any intentions for further practice. We do have 3 or 4 more Christmas caroling events scheduled, so if you'd like to get in on that, just contact me and I'll send you the instructions and the songbook and stuff. Today we'll be meeting at Beauview Manor at 11 in Calgary. And wishing you a wonderful Sunday and good luck with your preparations for Christmas. Thank you.